Ṣẹ̀kẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ bá jó, ṣẹ̀kẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ bá jó, Olúwa mi ò dìde ojú ṣẹ̀kẹ̀rẹ̀.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 7 of Theoryforge Chronicles. Thank you for joining us. This is sort of a, I want to say, special episode, but we have, I guess, decided to kind of focus on the current event and really go through each class or each role in the event. So, of course, I am Phantom X, joined by Sog, Diggs, and Legendary Neurotoxin. How is everyone doing?
Doing great.
Yeah. This remains an event that I just can't really jump into, but I know y'all have been playing quite a bit, so I'm just going to throw it out there. I should mention we're going to try to actually keep this kind of the off weeks a little bit shorter, so this will probably run about 30 minutes. So anyways, anyone have, we're going to talk about the soldier. I should actually probably talk about, or bring up who we're going to, or what we're going to talk about. So we kind of broke into each of us doing individual things. Who actually, I can't remember. Who's the soldier? Sog. So you want to start? Anybody?
All right. Soldier, tier 2, pure class. Are these classes? Is that what we're calling them?
Yeah. Roles. Actually, is what they're.
Okay.
A class, so it's essentially
a tier 2 purity side role. It was the one I chose because it appears to impact the outbreak bar significantly while being a somewhat of a purity battery, but not in the extreme sense of the sage. So the instant ability of the soldier, if you click, you spend 1 purity and it decreases the outbreak bar. But you also have a 12-hour trade ability where, depending on the number of seals that you trade outwardly, you also send some bonus seals. So if I send 5 seals to someone, they actually receive 7. So there's an injection into the purity economy there, and along with that, it decreases the outbreak bar, and I can do that twice a day. The third skill is for incoming trades. So once a day, I can, if somebody sends me 5 seals, they get 3 back for free. And I believe the third skill also increases the cure bar instead of decreasing the outbreak bar. So that one increases the cure bar. So every day in a 24-hour period, if I'm actively trading back and forth with people, other people can get up to 9 seals that are generated other than clicking on the generate button. So what I've been doing is I find one person who, around reset time, I find anybody who is available and present for me to trade them 5 and then them trade me 5 back. So it's like I just gave somebody 5 seals, and I'm not really concerned with who it is because I'm just an economy injector. It doesn't matter. As long as those get used for something and carried forward, I don't really care. And then I usually wait till for my around the time right before reset towards the end. I look for someone who's posting in chat that they're trying to get cured, and I use my send them seals once that way with just whatever I can spare. I try to do 5, but if I haven't been clicking the generate button enough, I make sure that I keep 5 seals so that when I do the trade back and forth, I can maximize the trade. Now, that's so fundamentally the way that I see myself in the role from an RP perspective is just like the role that I've talked about wanting to play in the game as the Turesk Market Town guy. Like, my job is just to keep things moving. And by keeping things moving, I'm boosting the economy. And because things are moving, the outbreak bar goes down and the cure bar goes up a little bit. And but that, which I think is interesting, because functionally the way that it works fits a lot with my, operate a merchant town kind of mentality, but it's called the soldier because of the way the flavor text is on the abilities. And I don't feel that because the interactions are just trading with others.
Right, I get you. That makes sense.
That's when you're a trader.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I've read lots of people come up with ideas of, well, if we create this group where we all just trade in this cycle and we all do this exact thing, then we're absolutely maximizing. Yeah, maybe. Like, if I maybe always traded to an herbalist with my non-back and forth trade, I'd boost the cure bar a little more, I guess. And, you could math it out all you want. But one thing that I've come to realize about this event is that it's not that trying to win is the least Elyrian thing that you can do, okay? Because Chronicles of Elyria isn't about winning. It's about experiencing and participating, right? But when you put these bars up with 0 to 100, it makes it look like winning, where instead, I'm trying to re-envision this as kind of a map with the plague spreading and an ebb and a flow of something. But really all that's happening is we're given the ability to click a couple times to feel like we are part of an unfolding story, and it actually doesn't even matter if our actions are affecting the way that story unfolds, because there's only one story, right? So we're just the Illyrian way, in my mind, is not to try to min-max and fight this as a, like, we have to win, it's our team versus their team. Like, no, there's a plague going on, and, we're trying to not be overrun by the plague, or for some reason, without any information of why that would make any sense at all, you want the plague, or you just want to watch the world burn. Fine. That's fine, but it's just a story unfolding. It's not about it. It's not winning or losing.
Yeah. I feel like it's something where I have no idea if the game changes so far that you'll see at the end of each of the blog posts would have different contents based on things happening in a different order, or if it's always going to be at these different intervals, something's always going to happen. This last one was cure 15%. Basically, everyone who hits tier 2 during the event, tier 2 purity, I'm guessing, or... Yeah, all pledge players. So if you're purity in tier 2, you're going to get this basically this book of medicine knowledge. And we also got a 3%. Last time it was a 5% reduction. This time it's a 3% reduction to things. But even with that, I feel like things have started to maybe started to speed up a little bit with the cure bar. Even that maybe people are actually paying a little more attention. They actually realize, oh crap, there's like rewards that we may only ever be able to get from this event if we don't get the cure all the way through. So people might be switching over and actually starting to help the cure and try to not help the plague. So I feel like that's a part of it. Now it's kind of an interesting thing the way that the soldier works, that you have automatic mitigation built in. You aren't generating a crap ton of seals, but you're automatically doing a lot to mitigate the outbreak. And it's kind of an interesting thing, because with the Sage, I generate a ton of seals. Like I'm giving somebody basically 20 a day until they're up to tier 2 purity, and then I'm going to switch to somebody else and try to get at least one more person.
If you give somebody 20 in a day, they're already at tier 2 purity.
No, I'm saying they're plagued right now. I'm trying to convert them. So, giving them 20 a day plus what they get from everybody else, they'll get there. They'll get there by the end of next week, and then hopefully there's enough event left to get at least one more person. That's really my focus. I want to get the cure rewards a lot, but I'm almost a little more focused on the idea that I can generate more value for the community by getting people the lowest tier Elyrian package by just hanging out and participating.
So yeah, as roles like the soldier, I think, and the sage are really key for that, because if it's just everybody clicks, it's still all clicks, but if it's everybody just clicks once every 4 hours to generate something, then everyone just sends it to people to get them free packs. Like, we might as well say, hey guys, if you can get people to click 120 times or 180 times, is that right? 180, you get a package. But because of the way the soldier works, and that it's the generation is from back and forth, that if somebody is really trying to get cured, they can just send me 5 seals, and I send them 5 back, and then they got 5, and there's still 5 in my inventory that I could do anything with. And to me, with the way that I'm playing the role, I don't care what they do with them, as long as they don't. Hopefully they don't just sit there. Hopefully somebody at least presses purify with them or neutralize with them. But hoarders, there'll always be some. But I'm not interested in the individual rewards, because the way I see starting out in the game is that whatever you get. Like, it's you're given. And also with the way the story unfolds in the event, or whatever items you have, or whatever role you have, the game is what it is when it starts. And if you have that item or you don't have that item, it doesn't matter, to the point where, because you never know you never know the other, right? Because there's no juxtaposition. It's like, so we talk about this event and different things happening. It's changing the way the world will be at exposition time, but it's like reading through a Choose Your Own Adventure one time. and only picking one path, at which point it's irrelevant that it was a choose your own adventure. And that's the same with having items or not having items, because when you start the game, it's a story game with a finite life cycle, and you're moving through it. So, whether you have a medicine bag at the beginning or don't have a medicine bag at the beginning is not going to be super meaningful in the story. It's just that it was there, and you don't have, I don't know, in the future you might notice there's a difference when you make another character, but right now, like, acquiring things and trying to min-max things doesn't feel right for me in the game, because I'm just living out a story. This event is part of it, but it's just backstory. And when it's backstory, it really doesn't matter what the result is, because like, real life religions have, how many flood stories are there? Right? Like, how many religions have a story of some massive human purge, that happened years and years ago for whatever reason? Well, when I got here, it was the way it was when I got here. I was born at the beginning of the 80s. People born in the beginning of the 2000s, it was like that for them. They're like, well, it wasn't always like that. And they're like, I don't care. I wasn't there.
We're getting deep with the lore here. Real deep.
Yeah.
I do hope people... it'll be interesting to see how it ends. I don't know how accurate it is, and I had already told you guys, but I'll mention it here. I was just trying to get to the tier 2 part, so I put in 10 seals just to on the cure bar. And because they go into such depth with the percentages, like it's actually 4 points after the decimal point. It looked like, anyways, that each seal was 0.00005% change to that cure bar. So if you just going kind of through that, it would take 2 million seals to actually, if you just turned them in, to go to 100% cure, which is a lot. I kind of took it further. So if you had 10,000 people playing and they were hitting that button, every 4 hours, it'd take 33 days if that's all you were doing, for 10,000 people each day, just doing that. So it will be interesting to see how everyone plays, how it ends up, or if it even matters, like you put it.
I think that it's the result will be much determined by what happens in the story milestones. Like, we know that as the bars get to different points, we've seen that things happen. It may also be that they have weekly things that'll happen, but it's the end of the first week. If we treat Soulbound like they're the DMs, right? That we're participating in this campaign that they're DMing. That's the only way that I can even participate right now, because if it's about seeing who can min-max clicks to get a bar to the end, then I'm absolutely not playing this game. But if it's just about participating with the community as a story unfolds, that's a way that I can encourage myself to click a few buttons several times a day. And as a soldier, sometimes I've been trading with you guys, but it also gets me to, reach out and just have a brief interaction with somebody that maybe I wouldn't have talked to otherwise, because then I can do that. And I think that's been nice. Like, I guess I haven't made any long-lasting friendships or something, but but I've ensured that I've been a part of it. And I think that if I hadn't chosen the role that I chose, the tier 2 role that I chose as a soldier, then maybe I wouldn't have done that. Because the way that it works, specifically because of the benefit of trading back and forth with one person. It's like me giving somebody 5 seals that didn't exist. I did that with Diggs today. He ended up with, he's like, I think I just sent you 5, but my numbers aren't. That's because you got 3 back. You know, like, so that back and forth, it really encourages reaching out to an individual to pair the traits like that, where some of the other roles, you know, you just hope that somebody sends you stuff for your trade, you know, or, you know, you send stuff, or you click your active or whatever, or you purify, whatever the bonus that you get is. But because people get rewards 2 ways when interacting with the soldier, it does encourage reaching out to somebody individually.
Yeah. But Zog, you've just been hitting different people, random people whenever. You're not just going with one person at a time.
I did randomly send seals to somebody who said they were trying to get cured. I don't care if they were really trying to get cured or not. My timer was up and I could send stuff, so I did. And
but I mean,
then,
you're not going to try to focus on that person again, or you're just going to go with someone?
No, because I don't care about people. I don't. It's not important to me. Like, my job is to participate and ensure that I am facilitating economic injections which passively affect the bars. My job, I am not part of some community where I've been tasked to ensure that this exact person reaches tier 2 or help this person who's going to be a member of our duchy get a package for free. No, I actually left every COE Discord other than the primary one, like all of the duchy ones. I hadn't been reading this stuff. I don't feel like I'm a part of it. So I'm going to keep operating as if I am this guy that runs a little market town, and my job is to facilitate trade. So, and if I can meet somebody new or interact with somebody who's around quite a bit that I've never interacted with before, then that's a bonus.
Yeah.
Now, other roles that we'll talk about other days, you know, it may be beneficial to be part of a circular unit or be part of something working together. But as the soldier, I have this luxury of, no matter what I do, I am helping to basically the maximum amount, other than like if I wanted to ensure that I was trading through an herbalist to boost the cure bar or something. You know, if I cared about min-maxing thousandths of percents, then I would do that. But I don't care about the result. I care about the flow and the ongoing trade.
Cool. So, Neuro, what do you have a person that you've been helping lately? You have one person that you're helping right now?
Yeah, I've been the person that I was originally helping had actually gotten a pledge package, so I switched over to. I just asked in the Dope Crew channel. It's like, hey, anybody plagued want to not be plagued? And Sailkite responded, so I've just been feeding them. And then after they're done, probably around Friday of next week, I'll pick someone else.
So you said Sailkite said that he's plagued?
Yeah, he's got about 115 or so left to go.
Okay.
And generating about 20 to 25 a day as a sage, as well as obliterating. If I'm mostly just trading with him and doing my trade and trade backs and stuff, I'm also obliterating 4 signs off of him, just out of his inventory every day. So that's a pretty sweet deal. Doing a lot to neutralize and let him add to the purity bar.
Yeah, I was helping a person called Becky Boya, but she's now cured. So I need to, I'm an undertaker, so I need to focus on people who are plagued in order to maximize my value. And Sailkite is a person I would like to help out, so I can try and interact with him and help him out.
Send a DM on Discord.
Yeah.
I'm tempted to start robbing people.
What was that?
I'm tempted to start robbing people. Like, say, like, hey, you want to do a back and forth trade? Send me 5. I think because I'm down. Like, I built up this thing where, every day I go and I'm like, oh, who wants to trade back and forth? And I really trade back and forth. But, now that you trust me. Oh, weren't you going to say? Oh, I did. It must not have worked. It must be. You didn't get my package? Yeah. But it's kind of entertaining to me. But at that point, I don't actually care enough to follow through with robbing.
I want to back up a little bit because you mentioned I want to run a market town, but I don't care about people. Isn't it going to be your job to know what all of the communities around you are doing? I'm a little, right?
Why would I need to know what all of the communities around me are doing?
Facilitate trade. Wouldn't it be good to know what this county, that county? Whatever.
No, I'm not talking macro trade.
All right. I was just curious.
But no, you come into the town. We do business. Don't care where you're from. Don't care where you're going. Maybe the things you're trading in here would be considered contraband elsewhere, but if there's a buyer and there's a seller, I'm not too concerned. I wouldn't care if I were trading in plague. I'm just not, because there don't seem to be many plague traders coming and going in my town, and so the currency that we're dealing in is purity.
You run your town how you see fit. We are starting to get towards the end of, again, anyone who kind of joined us late, we're really only going to do this for about 30 minutes on sort of our off weeks. Next week will, of course, be the normal time frame. But you look like you have something to say. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out that I think the outbreak bar is at like 43%. We're at the end of the second week. And the outbreak bar is 43%. And I think the cure bar is at 19%, something like that. So.
All right.
That's where we're at.
Okay.
Yep.
Does anybody have anything else to say this week? Anybody needs help? I think we were looking. So, what are some of the other shows that are also covering this for people who are curious?
BBC had an episode, and Town Crier had an episode. Episode 79 of Town Crier, I know for sure, covered it, and last week's episode of BBC.
Awesome. So if you happen to stumble on us, just kind of you're new to it, wanting to learn more, those are 2 excellent shows to go check out and learn a lot more for. And we will, I think what we've agreed to is kind of every week, a little bit shorter on the off weeks. We're going to try to cover this as the event unfolds. So Any final words? All right. We do not know yet what we're going to cover next week, but we will make sure and let everyone know. So have a wonderful Friday, and thank you for joining us.
Later, folks.